Hey friends, welcome to week 17 of our Theme Park Thursday. I'm here with a rainy night scrapbook layout that started out as being inspired by a layout that I saw on Pinterest, which I haven't been able to find again to show you as my inspiration. But really that's okay because in the end, this looks nothing like my inspiration layout that's been floating in my head for the last couple months. I still used the umbrella punch, which is what the inspiration layout kind of had led me to. But other than that, all of it is different. So it's a simple layout, but I think it's really cute. I did some good journaling, maybe not quite as much as as I relook at it. I'm kind of thinking maybe I should have done a smidge more journaling, but there's going to be some more layouts about this rain from this Disney trip in a couple of weeks. So stay tuned to see how we put together this quick layout, but quick but fun layout using the umbrella punch and some Shimmer cardstock and the Emerald Gemstone product collection from several years ago. Here we go. All right, so we're getting to the end of our first day, which was at the Magic Kingdom, and it started to rain. And it rained and rained and rained and rained. And I'm actually going to have a couple of rain layouts coming up as we wrap up this night at the Magic Kingdom. We still managed to have lots of fun. A little rain didn't scare us. It was thankfully warm rain. And I cannot find the inspiration layout that I've had in my head for a long time about how to do this layout. The layout didn't use the umbrella punch. It was kind of silhouettes. But when I saw it, I thought it would work really well with the little umbrella punch. You know, this was a punch from Creative Memories a couple years ago. And my memory is that it was kind of squares that had like little line drawings. It was probably a die cut. So I had this scrap of blue shimmer paper and I punched this out and I kind of was playing around with it. And this is a little bit what I'm thinking about what I want to do, but I'm not sure, and I cannot find the inspiration layout. So we're going to have to kind of make our own inspiration. Also, as I was putting away the papers I used last week, I was sick and I just left everything out. So as I was putting away, that we used Electric Summer. The next thing alphabetically in my file of old retired paper packs was this Emerald Gemstone, and I saw this paper right here with the raindrops. And so I think I want to use that, which is going to change completely what I thought I was going to do. This was the back of it. I loved this Emerald Gemstone paper. When they first came out with it, I thought, I don't have anything that's gemstones or jewels or whatever, but I have loved this paper. So I don't have a lot left. I have these kind of 3 pieces that are left of this one with the raindrops. And like I say, I know I'm going to have more rain pictures coming up. But I have some other pieces that I think we can coordinate with. I've got some of the mats. That looks kind of rainy, doesn't it? So I'll have to kind of look through these and see what we've got that's going to work. It looks like I had 2 packs of the mats because this is a big pile. So I definitely want to use this blue rain paper and some of the other, but I don't, like I say, I don't have enough. I love this green emeraldy paper too. It's had the peacock feathers on the back. I have no need for those, but I don't know what I'll use that one for. I don't think that's going to work. But this one, again, I only have 1 piece of this, so if we're going to do more rain layouts later, oh, that works too. I do have kind of almost enough pieces to do this whole thing with this as a background. I like that. It's not exactly the right color. Oh, I've got this one too. I don't really like that green with this. I like this watery piece, but I don't know how it's going to work. So I kind of think we're going to have to do something with a border or some solids. Maybe I won't use this as a background. Maybe I'll use a solid background. But I'm going to use this paper. I don't know about any of these. I don't actually know if I am going to have room because I do have like 6 photos. So I like the night sky. Maybe just these 2 at the top. I didn't pre-position those 2 at the top, but that's where they were. Okay, I'm going to put these to the side as well. And we'll look at the pictures. So this one, you can kind of see the rain. I hope you can see the rain. I mean, you can see it in the picture. Of course, it's hard to take pictures of rain, but it was raining so hard. So I got that one. I've got this one of Michelle with her glowing wings, which we still haven't gotten to the layout where I talk about that. And under her poncho. And then we took shelter in the Emporium. But then we went outside. They kept changing their mind about whether they were going to, well, they didn't tell us, you know, they kept postponing the fireworks. They didn't say either way what they were doing. So I kind of think I like to put like tall pictures in the middle and kind of work my way to the outside. I want this to be, well, maybe I'll do this one for here. And this is us inside the Emporium. And these 3 can go together. And then these 2, I can trim that just a smidge so I have a little bit of space. Something like this. And this will kind of be my 2 layouts right here. I don't know about these. I could do it like that. Because I really do have a lot that I want to journal. I don't really want to do that. I guess I could do that. Just because I have 2 of them, I'd love to be able to use both of them. And these are not 4x6. They're, you know, 5.3. So I could still have a little border at the top and bottom. I could do something with my little umbrellas, maybe like all the way around along the bottom. And maybe I do a blue Starry Night Shimmer background paper and then punch a bunch of these out of also blue shimmer, but then I can put the this along the bottom, the rain. Maybe I do like a top and a bottom border, and that way I'll be able to have enough of this to use it for everything I want. Okay, so let's see how much of this paper I've got. Just over 5 inches. So I could do 2 inches, 2 inches, and then a 1/2 inch at the top and bottom. And let me pull out a couple of the blue shimmers to decide which one I want to use. Okay, so this is the Starry Night Shimmer that I had a piece of scrap that I already worked on. This is the deep blue shimmer, which is more of almost more of a navy. This is the Vista Shimmer, which is, I think, way too bright. And these are the colors I pulled out for the Golden Statues page. But please don't judge me for being a paper hoarder, because I'm sure none of you have papers from 2013 in your stash. But I have loved these metallic papers for a long time. And I have this pack of what was called Indigo Metallic from 2013. And I thought it was this same blue, but it's a different blue. And I kind of think this might be the one that I want to use with this. I don't know. It might need to be that one. That one matches better, I think. But I'd sure like to use some of this old stuff. But I think actually now that I've got this on top of it, it's going to be that deep blue shimmer, which is not the Starry Night Shimmer. So that was from the Cardstock Buffet last summer. So, all right, I did pull 2 of them. So I'm going to use that, and then I'm going to put this down at the bottom, a 2-inch strip. Do I want the indigo? I think I might need to punch out of the indigo then the little umbrellas all the way along. So let's go ahead and cut this piece. And it's got a little bit of a jagged edge. And actually, I think my trimmer mat is looking pretty rough. So I think I already had flipped it over to 4, and then I tried to squeeze a little bit more of life out. So I'm going to go ahead and replace my trimmer mat. I do usually like to keep a couple extra trimmer mats because it makes such a difference. And you'll see on this paper that where the blue lines up against the dark blue, you can kind of see a white line, and that often can come from having an older trimmer mat that's not cutting straight. So we always put the number 1 closest to the logo up at the top. And I'll just get that in. And that will give us some beautiful, clean, straight cuts. I'm going to just, this is 5 inches, not quite 5 inches. Look at that. I'm going to just trim off just a hair. This looks like this might be a factory edge because it's not as white as the other. So I'm going to trim this at, well, actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to leave that in my bad edge. I'm going to cut 2 1-inch pieces. Oh, wait, no, I wanted this to be a 1/2 inch, didn't I? Darn it. Okay, so I shouldn't have done that. I'm going to cut the 2 2-inch pieces, and then we're going to have to work some magic to get the 2 1/2-inch pieces that I want to have at the top. This is just going to cut that little smidge, about 1/8 of an inch off of that. Now, because I already cut this, I'm going to use some Post-it notes to hold this guy in place so that I can get that 1/2 inch cut without sliding all over. I'll use 2 of them. And I probably could just do it on the side so that I don't waste my Post-its. That's probably a better idea. It's just easy to put across the middle. But I will do it like this. I know that it's lined up on the 1/2 inch line on both sides. And there's my 2 1/2 inch pieces to go across the top. Okay. So let's do this. This paper, the way my light is, this paper is feeling like it's variegated. It is not. But just the way the light, you know, the shimmer on it makes it look interesting, and I like that. Okay. So I like this. I like that I didn't use all of this raindrop paper because then I can tie in my later layouts can tie together. So we'll see those. So let's stick this down. You know, it's funny, they come up with new paper. Snowbound actually had some really cute rain paper too. And I always love new paper, but then I pull out some of this old paper and I think, oh, that was my favorite. Wish they'd bring it back, but then they'll come up with something new that I'll like just as well or better. All right, so I'm just positioning this right along the bottom. And then I'll put the 2 little 1/2 inch pieces along the top. All right, that one. This one. I don't know if I'm going to use that because it's got that kind of white middle, and it may draw too much attention to itself, but we'll see. We've actually, my daughters and I, especially Michelle and I, have had some really fun memories of rainy nights at Disney. Okay, that didn't come on very straight. So Some of our favorite memories involve rain, and definitely this night's rain really did, was one for the record books. It actually made like the national news, how much rain there was at Disney World that night. It was a doozy. So I've probably talked about this before, but you know, all our scrapbook paper is theoretically 12 by 12, but they do have manufacturing tolerances that can be up to 1/8 of an inch. So sometimes you get papers that are different sizes. I think the cardstock especially tends to be a different size, and some of that just has to do with, you know, where it's manufactured or whatever. And all our paper is made in the United States, but you know, and I don't know who is the paper manufacturer for all of those things. So it could be different plants, different companies. I don't know. Creative Memories is not a paper mill and does not mill paper of their own. So, all right, let's see. I think I was going to do the outside. No. I can't remember how I had this now. I know that these two go together because they're vertical. Oh, I was going to do it this way. That's right. These two go together. Well, that's us inside. And then we came back outside. I think it was this way then. The downside to picking things up and moving them. I think I'm going to leave a gap between these pieces. I really like this picture. Kind of want it to not be squished in with this picture of just the rain, rain, rain. Maybe I won't use this one. Maybe I'll do it like that. Put a couple of these. I wonder if I could put this kind of back that way. Maybe I will. All right, so now I'm going to need some of these little umbrellas, and I think I'm going to try the different colors. I don't know if I want that same color blue or not. Maybe I want this color. It kind of disappears onto it, but I kind of like that. So maybe let me punch some samples out of a couple of these different colors. I have it's all pulled already. All right, so I could do this one. This is that metallic, indigo metallic. Or I could do this one. It's the Starry Night. Or I could do the same one I did for the background. I guess I should have done it this way. I can't decide. I kind of like the slightly darker one. I think that's what I'll do. That way I can say that I used some paper from 2013 on this layout. And when I punch the regular standalone punches, this is not a border punch. If you line up the edge of your paper with the edge of the punch like this and punch one, and then line up the edge of the design with the next one. This one, the punch doesn't fall through the bottom, so you have to make sure you pull it out. And you keep doing that, lining up the punch. I don't know if it'll work this time, but it usually works just because of the size of these punches that it lines up for you. Okay, that one didn't quite work. That's a little spaced out. But it gives you kind of a design that you could use, you know, for something else. So it's not the most efficient way to get a bunch of punches out of one paper. And in fact, this one especially, but the problem is you can't see the underneath of this to cut like the other direction. But I think I'll punch, I don't know, I want a bunch of them. So let me punch 5 more and then we'll see how many more I need. Actually, I'll start a little bit in, and that way when I line them up, maybe it'll be more centered to eat. Okay. Yeah, that worked out about centered for me. All right, and I think I'm going to take this piece that wasn't quite as centered. I'm just going to trim it and see if I can figure out how to punch in the opposite direction and get a little frugality with my punching. I think I cut too short. Let's see if I do it this way. This is an experiment. If I punch kind of, I'm lining up the two row handles of the umbrella. Looks like little bat wings under here. Oh, that did all right. Okay, little bat wings. And all right, there we go. So let's clean this off. I may need a few more, but I think we'll start with these. All right, these inside pieces that are left over look like little shark fins. If you had a Jaws layout to do, you could use these for little shark fins, but I don't have a Jaws layout, so I'm just gonna throw those away. And then, let's see, how many of these little rain umbrellas? You know, I wish I had some raindrops. I think actually we had a punch, a teardrop lattice border punch that I think would make some raindrops. I wonder if I can remember where mine is. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 6, 7. Okay, I like the little umbrellas, but they're really hard to see. And maybe I want to be able to see the umbrellas. After I went through and punched all of those out of one color, maybe I want them to be in that Vista shimmer or something that's, we didn't actually have an umbrella. I don't know, it's hard for me to tell just by looking at this what the finished product is going to look like. And I know that, you know, from what I can see, what you guys can see, well, first of all, I'm off the screen. They really blend in, but I kind of like that. I kind of want them to not be the focus, but maybe I do want them to be the focus. So let me pull out a couple of different color shimmers and we'll try it with maybe a platinum shimmer or a white shimmer, because now that they're on here, I wanted subtle, it's too subtle. Like, what's the point of doing umbrellas if you can't see the umbrellas? All right, I have a bunch of colors of shimmer cardstock, as you can see. This one was old CM. It's called Champagne Shimmer. I'm kind of liking how it coordinates with kind of the colors on these pictures. This one is Shell Shimmer. It also kind of coordinates with those. But I kind of like this is a little bit of a browner color. This was Autumn Haze Shimmer. I have no memory of what I was cutting. Obviously little Easter eggs, but this is the white shimmer, which looks on screen a lot like the others. And then this is the platinum shimmer, which might be what it needs to be, actually. I kind of like to use up one of these other colors, but I think it might need to be the platinum shimmer. And I got these 2 little strips. So I'm just going to go ahead and punch all these little umbrellas again. I am going to save all these umbrellas and hopefully use them maybe for that other layout that we've got coming up. But for this one, I think it's going to be the platinum shimmer, and I'm not going to make you watch that. So I'll just punch those and be right back. Okay, so I punched a bunch of these in the platinum shimmer, and I do think I'm gonna like this better. I forgot one time to shake out the punched out piece. You remember I said it doesn't fall out the bottom. And so I did kind of end up with a little bit of a catastrophe on one of my punches. So we sacrificed one of them to the pay attention to what you're doing rule. But I still have enough for what I was able to do from those little pieces. And I'm going to put these little umbrellas. And I kind of just want them to be scattered, you know, but now I think maybe I need a little edge. And this piece that I have, I cut it with the wavy border apparently. So I think I might just cut off a little smidge. Let's see how I can cut this off. It's I got to get to that little piece. So it's just gonna be just on the inside of the edge of the trimmer. Oh, I'm feeling it hit the edge there. Might not work. You might see the little lumps. So I'll do this one the same way, just because I already have it and it's already on this little scrap. And you know, I love that we have all these blades for the trimmer, but I don't really remember to use them. And I don't know why. All right, so that might be a little bit wider than I wanted it. Maybe I'll tuck it behind. But I think that adds something. I might even need to put one at the top. And it's interesting because I originally thought I was going to go with like the autumn hay or something like that, because we kind of look a little bit yellow in this. But I think with this, no, I think I'm going to use the platinum shimmer. Just seems to match the rain. So let me stick these down and I'll be right back. Okay, I've gone ahead and stuck down my little umbrellas. I did end up cutting new little wave strips of the platinum shimmer. The other one was just a little bit too wide and it wasn't even. They were two different size pieces. So I decided to just redo it. And I wasn't going to tell you. I was just going to, you know, be sneaky. But I think I am going to show you how I did it, because I'm going to do it again for the top. And so what I did is I swapped out the wave blade, and I just wanted a tiny, tiny strip of the platinum shimmer. And so I'm just putting it right here, just on the 1/8 of an inch line. So the line closest to the logo is the cutting line. And then the next line is going to be the cutting line when you flip it, but that's about 1/8 of an inch. So that's what I did, is I lined and I just covered up the line, actually. Just covered up that 1/8 of an inch line. Anytime I'm cutting a really skinny piece, especially, I want to make sure that it's super straight. So I've got it braced up here against the top, and I want to push in that direction. If I came down in this direction, there's a little bit of space down at the bottom where it could slide, and I don't want it to slide, right? I don't want it to move at all, a little bit like this. So I'm going to go in the direction that I'm bracing it against the top edge, and that's going to give me this little teeny piece. And then, because I want to have one for the other side, I'm going to swap out the wave blade, put my straight blade back in, and then I'm also going to put this just so it just covers up that 1/8 of an inch. And I did feel my paper just buckle a little bit, but I think that turned out okay. So then I got these two super skinny strips, and then I'll take my silicone mat and I'll put these up right against each other. They're not exactly the same width, but they're close enough, I think, that nobody else except you and I will ever know. And by putting them together and putting the straight edges together, oh, end of my tape. All right, I put a new tape in. So by putting the straight edges together, these butt right up against each other. And that way I only have to use one pass of the tape rather than, you know, using double the tape for the skinny pieces. I'll just butt this up against that little 1/2 inch strip that's already on here, and that'll make sure that it is straight. I love that I can feel it, you know, where the edge is. Get that down. Okay. Move that out of the way, and I'm going to trim these little, snip these little ends off. And then we can think about putting these down. And like I say, I do want to leave a little bit of a gap. All right, I'm going to stick these down like about 1/8 of an inch gap. I want this to be like that, I think. So this layout did not go the direction that I thought it would. I really thought I was going to have a pattern paper background and more of a tone-on-tone umbrella. And it's interesting because I didn't use an inspiration layout at all for this one. I just kind of invented it out of my own brain. I don't know if I want to stick this down until I journal on it, and I think I might want to trim that guy down a little bit. Make this just a little bit smaller, cut some of the people off out of the background. And more so than like cutting the people out of the background, I just kind of want the I just want the variety in the size. I might, in fact, I don't know about that corner right there. Maybe I won't stick that one down yet. I'll do this one at the top. I could cut that. You don't really see much. I could cut both of these to be 4-inch tall. Although I do like this one having the back of the Emporium. And I think I do like having the variety of sizes. I'm lining up the seam or the space with this side. I think that that looks visually more pleasing to have some of the lines be the same. I think I will cut off this one right about there. So it fits inside this. I don't mind breaking the plane of the border because borders are supposed to enhance your photos and not the other way around. But sometimes it's hard. Sometimes we want to do fun things. All right, and then I think I'm going to do this. Oh, what are we going to decide about this one? I don't really want this guy on here, although it was funny to see all the people. But without the people, you can't really tell. Well, you can kind of tell how watery it is right there. Maybe I'll cut him off so that we don't think that he's who we're supposed to be paying attention to. I'm gonna put this right here. Maybe I want to put matte her in Platinum Shimmer. I think I might actually already have a piece of Platinum Shimmer that's cut to a matte size. Yeah, I'm gonna matte her for sure. Just because I already had this piece when I was pulling out the other pieces for to cut the umbrellas. This was already cut. So I just have to trim one edge. And then I think I want to journal. Kind of want to put maybe put my title up here. I've already used one of my favorite titles for a rainy night or rain at Disney is "And the rain, rain, rain came down, down, down." And I don't really want to use that again because I've already used it once. So I need to come up with a rain title. I mean, I guess I could just use rainy night. So let me stick these down. I think I am going to put my title here. I wish I could think of something Disney-esque that was about rain. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stick down these pieces. I'm not going to make you sit here and listen to silence while I think about what I'm going to do. I wonder if that needs a mat too. I had 2 pieces. I don't know if it does. I don't really want this to be a focal point picture, but I think I like the balance of having the 2 mats with these 2 things. So I think I'm going to mat her, this one. And I'm going to think about what I'm going to put on as a title. And I'm going to write some journaling. And yeah, I'll be back once this has a title and some journaling, and we'll decide if we are done. Okay, so I could not come up with a title to save my life. So I went on Google and I typed in rain scrapbook titles, and it brought me to this website called The Perfect Title. And they had a bunch of things like "And the rain, rain, rain came down, down, down," which I've already used. I thought about using "Better Get an Umbrella." But then at the very bottom, it said "Riding the Storm Out." And that's basically what we're doing. We were riding out the storm. So I think that's what I'm going to use. So thank you to theperfecttitle.com for that idea. And I often will go to Google when I can't come up with an idea for a layout. So I think I'm going to use my blue sticker letters that I've been using for so many of these layouts. And they're the right color, don't you think? I'll use the blue sticker letters, riding out the storm, I think. And then I'm going to journal, and then I'll be back with the final layout of this, the final version of this layout. Okay, so I've done my journaling, I've done my title, waiting out the rain. I just kind of tried to squeeze it into kind of the wider part of these little mats. Same with my journaling. I did find this punch. I can't remember the name of this, teardrop flower or something. And these little insides of this flower make cute little raindrops. So I think I might put just a few little raindrops. I don't know, that might be too much. I got raindrops on the paper. Let me punch out a couple and I'll just see what I think. And I'm just going to kind of punch out wherever. I'm just going to make a mess here, trying to get some little scraps of raindrops, and we'll see what I think after that. That might be too much. Might be too much rain. Although I do like them. I don't want the rain to be under the umbrella because that defeats the purpose of an umbrella, but what do you think? Raindrops, no raindrops. Raindrops up here. I think I do like them. So I think I'm going to use my glue pen, and I'm going to have to punch out a few more. I'm just going to put a few little raindrops above the umbrellas here and here, and maybe a couple up here at the top. Maybe a couple over here. And I'll be back with the finished product. Okay. I think I'm done with this. I decided not to put raindrops up here in the top. I was a little bit tempted, but I don't think I need it. I like them down here at the bottom. It kind of pulls your eye down. I wrote my journaling. I said that we're used to rain at Disney, so we weren't too worried when the forecast predicted a rainy night, but oh, how it rained. People were rushing out of the park and water was rushing along Main Street like a river. We took refuge inside the Emporium to wait for it to pass. I did change it to waiting out the rain instead of waiting out the storm. Just felt like that tells my story better. But I'm happy with it. It's not at all what was originally in my mind. But I think you're seeing by now that that happens a lot. Sometimes I end up with something very similar to what I started with, especially when I'm just coming up with it myself and don't have an inspiration idea to look at. So if you have the umbrella punch, have you used it? I think it came out with our baby stuff. I think it was kind of made for baby showers, but we got a lot of rain pictures at Disney, so I'm sure I'll be using it again. So I'd love to hear what you think. Do you like the color scheme? It's kind of monochromatic. Do you think I should have gone with the blue, or do you like the contrast of the platinum shimmer? So this is layout number 17 in our Theme Park Thursday series, and it is nighttime. It's right before the fireworks are supposed to happen, but we did manage to fit a bunch of other things. So I got Rainy Night here. I've got Voyage of the Little Mermaid, Fireworks 1. Oh, I guess that means that was the first time. Small World, Haunted Mansion, Buzz, Rainy Photo Pass, People Mover, After Park Rain. So I still have a bunch more layouts kind of on my plan to do for our first day at Disney. A couple of these I think I'm going to try to combine, but we'll see. So here we go. Layout number 17. We're going to call this Rainy Night. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.